Hello and welcome, my name's Dawid and this is the channel where I do tech stuff. And today I'm going to be looking at the cheapest all-in-one liquid cooler that you can buy on Amazon. And I'm going to tell you by the end of this video whether or not it's actually worth it spending the $43 and taking the risk on potentially dousing your components in water. And we're going to start off the whole process with a good old-fashioned unboxing. But first, so let's unbox the cheap and cheerful beast. Well, I don't know that it's a beast yet, I guess we'll find that out. Now the first thing that'll catch you about the box is the very plain design with a really well placed barcode right over the branding. If you turn the box around here, you can see it's called Uphere design, which is something I've never heard of before, and I don't think they make anything else as far as I know. So yeah, let's see how they do with this super cheap AIO. Now if you open the box, you can see that, well, it actually comes with quite a bit of packing material, and I think it should be safe in shipping. Yeah, let's have a look at the fan. This plastic ring is actually attached to the fan blades, and yeah, there's a huge gap between the fan blades and the actual kind of body of the fan, or the side of the fan, and then the LEDs are kind of in the rim there. So I think this fan is going to be one of the weaker points of the design of this thing, because it doesn't seem like a very high performance fan. It's really flimsy. Okay, and here we've got all the mounting gear. Let's see what we actually have available. Now you can mount this cooler to pretty much anything, although I really wouldn't recommend mounting it on an X299 platform considering the results that you'll see later. Let's get to the actual cooler itself, which is in here and is hopefully not too difficult to get out. There we go. Let's get the box out the way. Okay, and here is the actual cooler. Get the packaging off. It's got quite a big block that is... it's got someone's hair on it, weirdly. But so, yeah, here we go. This is the Uphere design. It's actually not it's not a bad looking pump design, actually. But right off the bat, the tubing doesn't look like the highest quality tubing, and it's actually got a bunch of marks and stuff on it. And then when looking at the radiator, it's a fairly thin radiator. It's not huge, so this is going to be on the entry level of performance for an AIO. Yeah, so let's get it installed in the system and see how it performs. Now here's a quick look at the thermal paste that comes bundled with the cooler, but I'm also going to test some better thermal paste to see how much of a difference it makes. Now let's have a look at how the cooler actually performs. Now I've attached it to an i5-7600K overclocked to 4.6 GHz. I'm going to compare this cooler against a CryoRig H7, which on the surface seems like a really unfair comparison, but as you'll see from the results, it kind of wasn't. Now before we get into the actual benchmarks, let me just get some housekeeping out of the way. I did each test for 30 minutes on IDA 64, stressing the CPU and the cache, and I did the first test with the stock cooler and the stock thermal paste with the front panel of the NZXT S340 on and off. I did the same thing for the CryoRig H7. Now the tests that I did aside from just the normal stock configuration with the front panel on and off, I also tested it with EK thermal paste, which made a bit of a difference, and then I also replaced the stock fan with a Noctua NF-f12, which is like a proper manly fan, to see how much of a difference that would make. Now with all of that out of the way, let's have a look at the benchmarks and see how it did. Benchmarks, thermals, I guess. Now that didn't perform well at all. Like in the stock configuration, the H7 beats it by a couple of degrees, which is terrible. That's like really bad. Removing the front panel makes a little bit of a difference, but not enough to justify not having the front panel there. Then when you change the thermal paste out, it makes a 3-degree difference, which is fairly big. And then changing to the Noctua fan barely made any difference. It was about 2 degrees, which is less than I would have thought, to be honest. And now just to briefly mention the actual acoustics of this cooler, this is one of its strongest points. It's actually not that loud, even with the stock fan, which looks terrible. And it looks like it would be really noisy, but it really isn't. And that brings me to a conclusion which is fairly straightforward. Don't buy this liquid cooler. I kind of knew that was going to be the case going into this review or into this video, but you can buy a CryoRig H7 for less money. It actually performs better in its stock configuration. Because let's face it, are you really going to spend $20 on a fan for a $40 AIO? Just buy a better AIO or a better air cooler. Like, it's just kind of not worth it at all. So buy a CryoRig H7 and save yourself the worry of having an AIO that might at some point die and destroy your entire system. And just like that, we're finished. If you liked the video, do like and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one, and until the next one, bye bye.